All right, here's a quick little tutorial video on working with Premiere Pro, voice recordings, and some audio editing. Here in this project that I have, let me play this so you see what I'm looking at. All right, I'm not sure how well you can hear that coming from a computer, but there's a lot of audio being played here. The video itself was taken on my phone. It was edited and effects were added in After Effects, hence the blasters, the lightsabers, and some of the audio were added in there as well. And so when I imported this video from that I've rendered in After Effects and brought it into Premiere, what you would have to do is once you open up Premiere and open a new project, you'll search through your browsers here, whatever drives that you have your project saved on, and you can search through Windows and whatever you need to. Once you find it, you can open it and you can drag it down into this kind of project editor. These are different files, sound effects, videos that I have added here. So you can kind of preview them and see. I'm not really sure what the difference is with either of these, except that I think this one right here has sound added in there, and this one does not. And so I have these different sound files that I have brought into my project editor right here. And once you have that, you can take these and you can drag them out into your timeline. And if your video has sound, then it's also going to bring in a V1, which is the video portion, as well as the A1, which is the audio portion of that video. So if you have both, then they'll both play together. So if I were to isolate these two and remove these sounds here, down here I have other layers of audio that I've added. So I can go to A2, which is this. This is something I've added in later. I can mute that, mute this, and mute this. So now when it plays, it's just displaying the sound and audio that I added in After Effects. I decided, hey, it needs more sound than that. And then I started adding in other sound effects like this. Okay. And then I added in a voiceover in Premiere using the voiceover record feature. Let me unmute that so you can hear that. I'll isolate that. So I recorded that right here at my desk using just the microphone that is on my computer. Then I went back and added in these sounds. So you can actually hear the blaster sounds. These are the blaster sounds. These are like the ricochet off of the saber. And then these are like that humming sound that the lightsaber makes. That wom, wom is all right here. And my original voice is right here. So I'm starting to get familiar with these sound waves and what they all mean after I've been editing them for a while. So I'm going to turn those all back on. And if you notice what I say here at the beginning, let's say I wanted to make an edit in that. I don't want that there after all. So let me isolate this first sound here. Okay, so I say no dessert Ellie right here. Let's say I want that to be something else. Maybe I say go to bed Ellie or something like that. I can do that. I can open up this layer of audio by double clicking on A1, and I see this bar, and this is dB is for decibels, so this marks the volume of my audio right here. So there's a left and a right channel because it's a stereo audio system, so you might get varying sounds from the left side versus the right side just to get a fuller sound. At 0 or all the way down, that basically makes it 0. So I can layer sounds on top of each other, make some of them louder than others. And so I can lower this down here and play. See how it's much quieter now. But let's say I don't want to hear my voice at the beginning saying "No dessert, Ellie." So I can keep this raised up and still get those effects. But what I want to do, I'm going to bring this back, and I'm going to add a keyframe on the audio here. And so when I click on that, this little dot pops up, and I'm going to drag that all the way down. Okay, that's at 0. Okay, so I heard where I say "No dessert, Ellie," and I want to stop it right there. I'm going to add another keyframe here, and I'm going to drop that way down low as well, and I can shift it whichever way it needs to go. And then I want it to be normal sound. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in here on this little part of the audio, and I'm going to move my little header just one click over, and I'm going to add another keyframe. I'm going to raise it back up to normal volume. And I can shift it this way or that way. I'm going to put it right above my last one, so there's seamless differences in I stop talking, the sounds begin. So I've totally muted myself out without muting out the rest of the sounds here. Say I wanted to add something else in there in that place, rather than "No dessert, Ellie." What I want to do is customize that and make some changes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click on this again, shrink that down. You can size these different ways. What I'm going to do is add another audio layer here. So I'm going to right click and add a track. I'm going to add 1 track, or I can add 5 tracks, whichever. It's going to be after video 3, which is fine. I'm going to put it oops, I think I clicked on the wrong track here. I'm going to add track here. Oops. So I'm going to add a video track. It's going to add an audio track, and that looks fine. So I'm going to click OK. And so it added a video track to go along with it. I could have changed it to not do that. But now I've got extra sound layers down here that I can work with. I'm going to zoom in here. And you can scroll over here as well to see these are my audio layers. These are my video layers up here. So it looks like it can get very complicated, but what we're doing, you can stick to the basics and it will be pretty easy to work with. So I've got A5 right here, which is my new audio layer that I want to work in. And I want to click on this, right click on it and go to voice over record settings. And right now it doesn't recognize as any source for audio. So I'm going to change that and choose my built-in microphone, or if you have a separate freestanding microphone, you can use that. And so now you can see that it's picking up on my voice. And it had, if you look at that, it had pre-roll 3 seconds, which means it's going to give me a 3-second countdown, and it's going to play the video, and it's going to start recording right when I want it to. So I'm going to close this, and I want it to start pretty much right here at the beginning. And think about what I'm going to say next. Not no dessert Ellie, but I'll think of something else. What I'm going to do is click on this on A5, and then I'll say something to replace that original sound. Go to bed, Ellie. And then I'll click on it again. It's recorded it, so I can see it here. Play it. It's not very loud. I can raise that volume up higher. Still not very loud, probably because I'm not working with not very close to my mic, and I'm wearing a mask. Okay. So timing is a little off too. So what I can do is trim that and push it back this way. And then she comes out with a vengeance, right? So you can mute layers, you can lock layers. If you don't want anything else to happen or to edit those layers, you can lock those down as well. You can play around with the volume of each layer, and you can bypass, you can level it out. You can go either left or right, whichever one you want that audio to play from. That could be handy if you're dealing with two characters, one speaking on the right, one speaking on the left. You can have certain voices coming out of certain speakers. That might be a worthwhile effect to play around with as well. So that is basically an intro into adding sounds, muting sounds, isolating sounds with within an audio track, and muting things out if you need to, like I did right here, and voice recordings. So it's very versatile. It works pretty easily, and you can adjust sound to be, pretty much what you want them to be. You can also get into effects up here as well and get into audio effects. If you want to add reverb or other types of sounds or muting certain areas, you can do that with certain effects here. Audio transitions as well. And there's also video effects that you can play around with, transitions and so on. So it's a big program. There's a lot to be learned here, but for right now, you can get as involved in it as you want with some of the basics that you've already seen. So that's pretty much it for now, and have fun with this and good luck.